Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. It is a pleasure to follow the Honourable Member for Glasgow West, and I congratulate her on her moving maiden speech and hope to add another place on her bucket list. I am honoured to have been elected as the first Liberal Democrat MP for North East Hampshire, a constituency which has only had 2 previous MPs. Lord James Arbuthnot, who is now in the other place, known for his important role in supporting Joe Hamilton and other sub-postmasters and mistresses. And Ranald Jayawardena, who likewise wanted the best for our communities and campaigned for better infrastructure locally alongside his ministerial roles. Boundary changes mean that those in Lichpit and Old Basing, who are warmly welcomed into North East Hampshire, were previously represented by Dame Maria Miller in the Basingstoke constituency. She was a strong advocate for women in Parliament and encouraged those of all parties. I am only the second woman to stand for Parliament in North East Hampshire, and only around 15 have stood before me in any of the constituencies now covered by the current boundaries. So it gives me great pride to be in the Parliament with the highest number of women ever, an achievement that would not have been possible without the support of my dad, my late mum, and my husband and children. North East Hampshire is a place people often travel through, by train between London and the West Country, or by road on the A30 or the M3, stopping perhaps at fleet services. Those who live there, however, enjoy good schools, good transport links, low crime and plenty of countryside. All the reasons, in fact, why the place often tips the list of the best places to live in the UK, and why my family and I chose to move there 10 years ago. So I would encourage you, the next time a journey takes you that way, to stop and visit. If you wish to indulge your political history, you could choose to stay at the Four Seasons. The hotel is situated in the former home of Sir Henry St John Mildmay, 5th Baroness of the Dogmersfield Estate, also, coincidentally, a Liberal political candidate in 1865. Or you might choose Highfield Park, where Neville Chamberlain spent his final months. Once you have arrived, there is plenty to experience. History enthusiasts should visit Odium Castle, Basing House, and the Roman city walls at Silchester. Those with a military interest will not be disappointed with the constituency that boasts RAF Odium, Stratfield Say House, the home of the Dukes of Wellington, and Blackbush Airport, created as an airfield in World War II. For nature lovers, there is so much to choose from. The Hazley Heath Nature Reserve, or a sturdy walk up Beacon Hill to look out over Caesar's Camp. And if you like your nature by the water, there's Fleet Pond, the Basingstoke Canal, and our 2 chalk stream rivers, the Loddon and the Whitewater. After all that, perhaps you are in need of refreshment. North East Hampshire is home to dozens of village pubs, cafes and bakeries, from the award-winning Street Bakery in Old Basing to the Heron on the Lake at Fleet Pond, looking out over the water. There is something for everyone. We even have a local gin distilled at Upton Gray. It is one of the joys of this area that each town and village has its own personality, with a high number of independent businesses that makes each one unique. A walk through Bramley is entirely different from a stroll along Hartley-Whitney High Street or a meander through Yateley. What unites all of these places is the people. Each unique town or village has a strong sense of community, and the people of North East Hampshire are unfailingly generous with their time and energy in pursuit of this goal. This community spirit was seen most recently when Hook Infant School and local homes and businesses were victim to a summer flash flood. People rallied around, helped clean up, raised funds, donated items, hosted friends whose homes were damaged, and offered sympathy. It is in this way that all the communities within North East Hampshire are connected. But this place I love to call home is not without its challenges too. Connecting our towns and villages takes more than goodwill. Our roads, particularly our smaller roads, are in a terrible state. Public transport leaves a lot to be desired, and bus routes are sparse at best. It is also surprising that North East Hampshire is behind the national average in the adoption of 5G mobile services, especially when you consider the above-average employment in the technology sector. one that will be vital for the modernisation of both government and our public services. The investment that is needed to ensure joined-up, efficient public service processes is as vital as the investment needed in North East Hampshire's transport. The UK has a proud history of research and innovation, but when nurses are still taking patient notes with pen and paper, it is clear that action is needed. Indeed, the National Audit Office report only last year cited that outdated IT systems are a key source of inefficiency in government. We cannot be a country needing to catch up. And I hope the government will draw on the expertise of those in the technology sector to quickly implement the best possible solutions while ensuring individuals' personal information is held with the highest possible security. I also encourage the government to consider, in its review of technology in public service, the role that charities play in supporting this sector. The tireless work of organisations like Citizens Advice and the Trussell Trust, as well as countless local and regional charities, are the bedrock of our communities. They support the public sector to deliver many vital services across health, education, housing, criminal justice and more. It is essential, in my view, that these organisations are also invested in and integrated into the new systems that will be created. I look forward to working with those local organisations, those businesses and the people in North East Hampshire, and I thank them for putting their trust in me.